Welcome to Make It Make Sense. We are Marlene and Paulina, two research assistants at the Obama Institute for Transnational American Studies at JGU Mainz.
In this podcast, we take you on a deep dive into the world of our study program. Together with guests from all throughout the discipline, we talk about everyday societal topics you might not have guessed are connected to our field.
Join us in making sense of the issues that surround us and, most importantly, have fun listening.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Make It Make Sense.
Is this our season finale?
It seems like it is. This is the last episode we're recording for this season.
And it is crazy. And for this very last episode, it's just the two of us, your favorite research assistants.
We are back.
I just looked straight at the camera for this. Just
breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
Just letting everyone know we're locked in. Yeah, no, this is crazy. It's been a ride. We hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, all the guests we had on the show, all the different conversation topics that we had.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and to bring the season to a close, we decided to talk about something that's so central to our field and what we do.
Yes, because from students to professors, everyone does it. Few talk about it. Academic writing. That should be like... Well, anyways, well said, me. There are classes on academic writing, specifically in the syllabus, if you study at Mainz. Yet it is sometimes a little hard to muddle through all the information given there or different lecturers who give it with different maybe approaches. So we thought maybe it is a nice episode idea to bring the season to a close, as we said, and kind of share some of our favorite insights.
Exactly. And this episode, I mean, what we're more or less also trying to do with this last episode is give you a little maybe sentiment of encouragement. I don't know, because I mean, academic writing has a reputation for being complicated and intimidating and kind of a sink or swim situation. And as you said, despite there being classes on it, right? So today, we just wanted to unpack a little bit what it is, why it matters, and maybe some pointers on how to make it work for you if you're struggling. And if you're not struggling, who are you?
Exactly. Give us whatever it is you're taking, because
we're serious. Come on the show. Let's talk about it again. Because
and in any ways, you're not alone if you're struggling. Everyone we're talking to is. So that's kind of why we thought that would be a nice close.
Nice thing to talk about, yeah. So in this episode, we will argue that... Sorry, we had to
put that in.
We will argue that you are not alone, and we can all, if we work together and,
help each other,
we can make this work.
So what is academic writing?
What even is it? Let's start with that. Let's start with the basics. So, I mean, basically, it's a writing style like many other writing styles, specifically used in academia, obviously, because it's academic writing. Just like journalism, for example, has a unique writing style. I mean, depending on what you're writing, if it's a report, if it's something else, or creative writing, for example, also has that's
very own style.
Yeah, that's another kind of specific style. And if we talk about academic writing,
it's very much about clarity, evidence, and structure for us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like there's a very common misconception that it has to be overly complicated, which, like I just said, that is a misconception because it is just about being precise, and often actually the most brilliant, most helpful, and most quoted academic texts, at least in our field, might I add, are the ones that manage to kind of break down extremely complex problems and arguments into beautiful, concise form that seems simple. So while very complicated sounding pages may, of course, contain brilliant content, it is not brilliantly delivered, right? If even fellow experts are struggling to get it or are annoyed reading it or something like that, sometimes the overly complicated sounding stuff just fakes at complexity and is actually quite superficial, which again, not always, but a beautifully concise and easy to follow argument that takes you by the hand without boring you is the goal and ultimate challenge for the academic writer, even though you might have to think twice or 20 times about what it entails, because it is complex and we're not arguing that it is not, after all. And it's meant to get you thinking. So a brilliant idea alone is worth next to nothing if you can't, get your point across to your audience. Okay, my rant is over. Thank you.
But that was beautifully put, and you're so right. I mean, I think there's kind of like an ongoing debate, as far as I've heard, or let's say people are demanding to make academic writing more, let's call it accessible and like a little more simple. And like I said, that doesn't take away from how concise it's supposed to be, but just does have, I mean, when it sounds that complex, it does. There's kind of like a gatekeeping vibe to it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's very elite, and it's just for the
brilliant,
for the brilliant scholars. But that's not what it is, and that's not what it's supposed to be.
And most importantly, it is a skill and not a talent. So you can learn it, and you can get better at it. Yeah. And that's kind of also what we're trying to give you pointers to.
Exactly. I mean, this is not a complete workshop or anything, but just by talking about it, we're contributing to also maybe breaking the stigma a little bit almost, because as you said in the beginning, everyone does it in the field. No one talks about it though.
So why does it ultimately matter?
Why does it matter? I mean, first of all, when you're engaging in academic writing, your goal is to join scholarly conversations, because that's how these conversations go, and that's how discourses go. And of course, what you also want to do is encourage critical thinking and communication. So you're communicating something, you're communicating your research to people, and you're joining a broader conversation.
Yeah, and that makes it a very transferable skill, I would argue, because if you learn to write other stuff, anything really with clarity, that can get you really far in life. Emails, reports, briefs, even a social media post, honestly.
And we've written a couple of them.
Yes. So all these conversational critical thinking skills that you learn, you can absolutely transfer to other areas in your life. But then again, that gives it an enormous kind of like responsibility attached to it, I'd almost say, which I think...
Great power comes great responsibility. I'm sorry.
Which brings us, I think, to the main challenges. And for that, we've collected some sound bites for you, which we're going to play now.
Right. We asked around in our circle of friends, our colleagues, fellow students, to just get kind of like a mood board, you might almost say, of some of the main challenges and problems people are facing while doing academic writing. And this is what they had to say.
And so to kind of summarize the main points and maybe add our own 2 cents a little bit to the conversation, what is very common is, first of all, the fear of a blank page, right? Yeah. You sit before that blank Word document or whatever you're using to write, and you're just scared of how on earth am I going to fill 30 of these? And then attached to that is huge imposter syndrome. At least for me, there is, because I know that I can write, but who am I to say that at the same time?
That's a huge problem. I mean, for me, once you're at the stage where you have written something, even then, sometimes I'm like, I get to this point where I've looked at it so many times that I start hating everything I wrote.
If you read something 20 times, you cannot like it anymore.
Yeah.
At least sometimes that's a problem for me. And just, for example, I have just recently been speaking with someone who's already successfully completed her PhD. So she has done some work, you know,
Yeah.
in the academic world. And even she told me that she still faces those very same problems.
Right. And I read something that was actually referring to mental health, but I thought it very much also can refer to academic writing, because the whole thing, if you will, is not a destination, but a process. So it's about how you drive, not where you're going. You're not trying to get to that point where you're 100% confident in anything you write and it's just everything's just going well. I don't think that happens for people. I mean, if you're very...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Again,
if you really
if you're
have
that one special person,
reach out to us.
But yeah, it is about how to get there, really. I think that's beautifully said.
Right. And as we said in the beginning, and we'll say it as many times as you need to hear it, but you're not alone. And there are ways to help with some of those problems and the challenges that we just addressed.
Exactly.
Right?
And now that we've complained about it enough, why don't we try to, well, actually make sense of it, right? Try to share some practical strategies that we've learned and kind of walk you through a couple of things that may or may not be helpful to for you to approach your problems, any that you might face at all. Do you want to get us started?
Sure. So let's start in the very beginning, right?
Yes.
Before we even start writing. There's ways to structure the research that we have done. Start with an outline, for example. Just start by thinking about, how do I want to structure this? Which argument goes in which chapters? So you have a broad idea of how the whole thing is going to look like. There's strategies like free writing, where you just kind of jot down everything on the page and try to get it out there. Write in chunks. Take breaks. You don't have to, like, especially in the beginning, like starting out in my BA, I felt this pressure to like write it all down and get it out there and be done with it. But there's no shame in like taking it slow and taking breaks in between and taking a step back. That is something that makes sense to do, especially to prevent this thing that I just mentioned of like starting to hate everything you wrote because you've looked at it so many times.
And taking that step back will also allow you to really understand if something isn't working. And I think that is something really important to bear in mind. It is okay for things not to work out.
Definitely.
If your outline doesn't work out, it's okay to restructure your arguments. You don't have to be perfect first try. No one is.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important to bear in mind. And that also goes hand in hand with what I was going to say next, which is structuring your arguments very clearly, right? So you already have these kind of markers that will help you, which is, first of all, your thesis. And then remember, for every paragraph that you're writing, use a topic sentence and like a concluding sentence. And really make your transitions, which helps your overall structure, and then also goes back to the aspect of learning how to communicate clearly. And in that effect, it is absolutely okay to restructure your arguments, like I just said. So I think that's also very important.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, sources play a big role.
Absolutely.
So depending on what sources you're using, and like I said, what research you've done at that point, whenever a source doesn't fit, or maybe it just doesn't fit into that specific chapter you're writing or the paragraph. I mean, there's different ways of using sources, right? Summarizing, paraphrasing, quoting. Try to use them effectively. And whenever something doesn't work, try another way. Like,
exactly,
if you have a quote and you just can't fit it in there,
don't be afraid to take a step back, rethink your argument, rethink your structure, and then quoting doesn't work, paraphrase. Paraphrasing doesn't work, summarize. You know, there are different ways, and no one again expects you to get it right from the very beginning. But take that drive.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it.
this is how I work most of the time, is because especially because we mentioned the being scared of the blank page thing, I have that. I'm terrified. I don't like the blank page at all. I don't know how to start. So what I do is that sounds incredibly dumb saying it out loud. I just start and I write something, even though it's shit. And I'm aware that it's... Can we curse? Did we say on something?
We said we can curse. And
Great.
Just side note to anyone listening
Parental
here,
advisory content.
Yes. Her stuff's never shit, but okay, let's just go with that.
Well,
She's
so
amazing.
here's the thing about us, because we've peer-reviewed a lot of each other's stuff at this point. Each of us is convinced that the other's stuff is not bad. And we're also convinced that our own stuff is really bad. So this is also a thing, like, you look at your own stuff differently. But as I was saying, I write something and I think it is bad, but it works better for me if there is something on the page that I can revise and change, because I can specifically point out, well, that sentence sounds dumb, so I can change this and that to make it sound better.
Yes.
Instead of just being able to write down the perfect sentence right from the jump.
Yeah.
I write a shit sentence and then I revise it and then it sounds better to me.
And I think that brings us really to the aspect of tools and support systems at your disposal, because there are a lot. And that is not to say that you have to use all of them, but choose whatever one fits you. For example, which we now already mentioned, peer reviewing your stuff. That is what helps me the most. Not even having my writing peer reviewed, but also peer reviewing other people's work, because I can see thought processes and how they structure their stuff. So the going back and forth is really helpful to me. And then what is a little bit not unique, I'm sure other universities have it, but what we have at our university and at the Obama Institute are tutoring programs that are in selected classes, but also writing programs that you can apply for, right?
And they're designed to help you with specifically what we're talking about here.
Exactly. So I get it if you're shy or if you're think you're going to be a bother, but you really are not. These people they're getting paid.
They're lovely.
Use them.
They're getting paid. They're getting paid to talk to you. Come on.
And she is right. They're very lovely. We have some friends doing that. And reach out to them. Use the resources at your disposal. If you do not have anyone who will peer review your writing, reach out to quote-unquote professionals. Some more professional than others, but everyone qualified nonetheless.
Definitely. And I mean, there's no shame in contacting your instructors, your lecturer, your professor.
Who are very qualified.
Who are the most qualified, arguably. Not necessarily with the request to peer review your stuff, but just generally if there's insecurities, if you're writing a term paper, if you're not sure if you're doing what they want, in a way, everyone has office hours. Drop by, ask questions, and that'll get you there at the end of the day.
And the university has other writing resources, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the library, I believe, also offers courses on stuff like that. We have online style guides, specific books. I don't know if can we name any that have helped us?
I use, because we use MLA most of the time, so I do just use the MLA handbook as well, because they not only tell you how to cite, but also they do have style guides in there.
Definitely, yeah. I use, it's a website called, I believe, the Purdue Owl
Purdue,
writing
I use that
labs,
as well.
Something, yeah. I hope that's the name of it. I can look it up in a second, but that's really helpful because you can basically look up how to cite certain sources, or they also have tips for writing, academic writing. So that's really helpful. And in your classes, your professors and lecturers, they will have their own favorite resources, which they're going to be sharing with you. So
don't be afraid to ask for that specifically.
Right. You can ask for that. Ask for tips. Yeah. Speaking of tips,
yeah.
maybe we should share some personal tips. I mean, we've talked about like our experiences and the challenges we're facing. Yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you have something?
I do have one, which is I have a writing exercise or thinking exercise that is very similar to free writing, what you mentioned in the very, very beginning.
You should have explained what that is, probably.
So I'm going to explain that now. It's a brain dump writing exercise, which is you don't even have to have a question in mind. Say you're writing about novel X. You will give yourself 1 or 2 minutes, set a timer, and then just write down by hand, because that way you will better, understand what you're writing.
It's connected to your brain.
It's a good learning technique. So by hand, in those 1 to 2 minutes, write down everything that comes to mind, and don't stop writing. That's the one thing you're not allowed to do. Never stop writing. So if you're out of ideas, you can literally write on the page, oh, I don't know, what was I thinking about, and so on and so forth, right? And I learned that technique in one of my seminars where the instructor told us to do that for, I don't even know, it was a novel or a movie or whatever. And it is incredibly helpful to first get you started. And sometimes while you're writing, you will think of stuff that you didn't know you were thinking about.
Yeah.
Kind of like. So yeah, that is my advice to you. Brain dump writing exercise. 2 minutes on the clock. Just go.
That sounds really good. And I haven't tried it. So I'm definitely, after this episode, gonna... I think I should, because it sounds like it's really going to help. Yeah. I mean, for me, I already mentioned the way I work is kind of start with a rough draft, which is shit. And then revise, because blank pages really are one of the biggest motivation killers for me. Not necessarily motivation, but they make me anxious. Yeah. And then the second thing that I discovered this year, and mind you, we're grad students now, so I did my entire BA without that technique.
And we don't want you to feel like that, so here we go. What
exactly. We're sharing this with you early, so you can learn and not
be us.
Not raw dog this whole situation. What I discovered this year, also through a class, through one of our instructors who kindly shared that technique with us, it's called the Pomodoro technique. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I believe it's an Italian word. I used to call it the tomato technique, because that's what the website calls it. But that's a really unprofessional. So Pomodoro technique it is. You might have heard of it already, because I don't think it's like an academia specific thing.
No,
I think you basically do that for any kind of work, whether it's writing or other stuff that you're doing, if you really want to be productive. And the way it works is you kind of like work in intervals. So you will work 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. So you have half an hour done. And then after your 5-minute break, you work for another 25 minutes and then take another 5-minute break, and you just go on like that. And I have spoken to people who also use that technique. I talked to a friend of mine who was like, sometimes when I write papers, I change the time period, like I change the interval. So I work for 45 minutes and I will take a 15-minute break. So the break is longer, but the writing or the productive the time during which you're being productive is a little longer. So of course you can adjust
to your liking,
your intervals. But I just realized that it really helps me. And there's a website that is called mytomatoes.com, I believe it's called, where you can time yourself and you will have an alarm going off after 25 minutes, however long you want that. So that would be my tip. My personal new discovery.
And we hope that is at least a little bit helpful. Maybe you know both these exercises and you're just wondering what on earth are they talking about.
But they're so basic.
But this is what helps us. So maybe if we can reach just one person out there, that will be That'll be good. And
exactly.
I don't know. If you look closely, these structures that we keep talking about, and not the 25 minutes, but the structure overall.
Was this episode 25 minutes? We're just going to cut it after.
These structures are everywhere, which is kind of funny to notice. And if you're looking at what we're doing right now, we had an introduction. We had our main question, which is basically a research question, right? And then we had our arguments kind of working as well as we were going. Yeah. Everything then coming to a nice conclusion, which is, for me, right now, these structures are everywhere, and it helps to be good at critical thinking and communication.
Right.
So we referred back to our research question. See what I did there?
Boom, it's all coming together.
So that is for me just to reiterate in my conclusion that it really is about the structure and about how and what you're communicating, which is what it ultimately boils down to.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we finally are. End of episode and end of season.
No!
That's crazy. And if you think back to, we made a joke about this in our pilot. Was it the pilot or the
pilot? Yeah.
What is American Studies episode, where we were joking about it kind of like being our theoretical framework.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
We went full circle, y'all.
We went full circle. So this is our conclusion. And
what a ride, really.
It was a ride. And we had a great time making this podcast for you guys.
Yeah. And we hope you had a good time listening to us.
Yeah.
Sometimes watching us on Instagram. Side-eye to anyone and everyone who is not following us yet.
Right. What was your favorite episode to record?
Oh, well, I loved all of them. I have to say that. I'm the host.
Same.
But I do
You were here for all of it.
I was here. I do think the climate crisis episode that we did with Julia Felten was really amazing.
Loved that, yeah.
But that is also because if you listen to that one, we talked about a lot about like sharing of knowledge and also the climate crisis as an global issue, an international one. And that is really, I don't know, like medical, environmental humanities and all of these ideas about like knowledge are really up my alley. I love that stuff. And I mentioned in that episode that I even like wrote a conference paper about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite episode just because of the topic, not of the guest. Of course, I like all of our guests.
Sorry, Julia. Yeah.
Also like her.
No, I loved that episode. Yours? That was a great one. I mean, I loved all of the episodes with guests simply because each of them had kind of like their own topic and their own angle, and it's so
and it gave it a personal touch, really.
Exactly. And it's so cool to see. I mean, especially as people who are just starting out in the field of American studies, it's really cool to see how much depth there is in every single topic and how broad the field is. I mean, you must be sick and tired of hearing that, honestly, because we've said it so many times. But yeah, it was just, those were all really cool. And then maybe, I hope this isn't like narcissistic, but I really also loved the episode with just you and I.
Yeah, it's cozy up, just the two of us.
They were fun too. And just getting into what American Studies is and going back to the roots. And
yes.
And like we said before, we hope you had a fun time listening to us.
So in conclusion, you liked all episodes?
Basically, yeah. It's like when you ask a 5-year-old what's your favorite color, and they're like, all the colors.
Yes,
I
rainbow.
Love them all. I really enjoyed. I mean, all the studio sessions were so fun. So
yes. And that is why we're hoping for a second season. Yes. Right now, there are a lot of insecurities around that. So we want to be completely honest just because of like time scheduling reasons. But we are hoping and praying that we can make a second season work because we had so much fun. And on that note, if you do want a second season, DM us, let us know. let us also know maybe what guests you would like for us to have on the show or possible topics.
The higher the demand is for a second season,
the higher the pressure,
the more likely it is that we get to produce one.
So please get in contact with us, just because also we love hearing from you guys with all your feedback, your hopes for a second season, right? Not just our hopes. And follow us on Instagram for you to slide in our DMs.
Exactly.
We said that in every episode now. Are you proud of us? Is the marketing team proud of us?
The marketing team, which is
you and I. Don't mention that.
Anyway, I mean, this sounds really cheesy, but making this podcast was a little dream come true.
Absolutely.
For the both of us. And we're so happy that we got to do it. And
you're going to make me cry.
It was so fun doing this with you.
It was. But
amazing.
It wasn't just the two of us.
That's right. We wanted to, especially because this is the season finale, a big shout out to everyone who has helped us along the way of creating this thing. Christine for proofreading every single script that we wrote. But also notably everyone at the ZAP, the Zentrum für Audiovisuelle Produktion here at JGU. That is Adrian, Christian, Michelle, everyone who has been here in the studio to fix problems, to
get our mics
tinker with the microphones.
Because we are helpless without them.
Exactly. So
they were truly a dream of a team
to work with.
And while we were trying to make sense of the American studies, they were trying to make sense of us. And we deeply appreciate that about them.
Definitely. Thank you to all of our guests who came on the show. It was an honor to have you on.
And lastly, of course, a big thank you to all of our listeners, because I mean, you're the ones who make it work for us. It has been a dream of a journey.
Thanks for getting in touch. Thanks for sharing your ideas with us. We hope to continue that in the future.
And with that, our season comes to a close, and we will play the outro for you one last time. Bye, guys.
Bye. Make It Make Sense is the official podcast of the Obama Institute for Transnational American Studies at JGU Mainz, Germany. This podcast is hosted by Marlene Winkler and Paulina Schlosser and edited by Paulina Schlosser. We're recording at the sound studios of the Zentrum für Audiovisuelle Produktion at JGU.
For more information on us, check out our website, and don't forget to always keep up with us on Instagram at Obama Institute. Thank you for listening.